Oh my goodness, the drama that comes behind infidelity. No joke, that stuff gets people killed. Well, I'm not even going to go there. I'm not going to deal with this topic in that manner. That's one of the things that I notice most in the emails that I've gotten in regards to infidelity. That people are all wrapped up in the drama that comes behind getting cheated on. Now, I've been there before, so I know exactly where people are coming from. But I'm going to invite you inside of this conversation today to look at infidelity in a way that serves us as an indicator that something needs to change inside of our relationship. And there's something we can do about it. A lot of times when our relationship breaks down to the point such that we are dealing with occurrences of infidelity or instincts that tell us that maybe our partner is being unfaithful, when we get to that point in our relationship, things have gotten pretty bad. So we're going to go through all the signs that might lead to that and the mindset that leads to possible infidelity and what we can do when we're dealing with this very, very difficult situation. But let's leave the drama behind us because there's so much more we can get out of even this that arises in many of our relationships. This is coming up next on Love Relationships Real Talk. I'm Phoebe Smith. So like I said, I've gotten several letters about this topic of infidelity. So this is the second part of the conversation. And this part of the conversation I entitled, What Can We Do to Prevent Infidelity in Our Love Relationships? So first of all, the obvious caveat to this conversation is, if a person wants to cheat, they're gonna cheat. I'm not talking to those people. I'm not talking to those people who are in relationships and they choose to cheat. I'm talking to the people who are in relationships. Something has happened. There's been a breakdown somewhere. You're dissatisfied. There is a breakdown in communication. Something happened inside of a relationship that you truly care about. Something that has gone wrong with your love. And you want to fix it. Well, I chose this letter for a particular reason. I'm just going to be honest. Initially, I chose the letter because this person who wrote it is a guy. So I wanted to do a letter from a man because a lot of times when we think of the word cheater or infidelity, we think it's the man doing the cheating. And those are societal expectations. Again, they're those memes that tell us that if somebody's gonna cheat, it's gonna be the man, which we all know that is not true. Women are just as likely to cheat as men are. So that's one of the reasons why I picked the letter. And there were other men who wrote letters too. So the second reason why I picked this letter was because it said, urgent, please read at the top. So I had to. They were insisting that I read the letter. But I chose it because it was short and sweet and to the point, and this person really is halfway to their solution in their situation. And so that's another reason why I thought it would be really useful to help this particular viewer, that they're not stuck in the drama of it all. They want to solve the problem and move forward in their relationships. So the husband writes, I'm pretty sure my wife is cheating or she's about to cheat. I love that he says that because it acknowledges the fact that we always know when our partner is cheating. always. If the thought slips into your mind, given some small indicators, you're probably right. However, if you're that person who's jealous or insecure and you're always assuming that your partner is cheating on you, then this doesn't apply to you because you always think that. Your instinct meter is broken. So you don't know the difference between your jealousies and insecurities or your instincts. So you can't use that. I'm talking to the people who are not jealous, who don't have any reason to be insecure or feel insecure about their relationship, and instinctually they know something is different or wrong. And those people who do struggle with jealousy and insecurity, I invite you to really work on dealing with that so that you can allow your instincts to speak to you in situations where you need to be able to trust your instincts. So anyway, as he continues to write, he says, these are the things that make me think that she could possibly be cheating. She goes out without me a lot more and a lot more often. And she comes home late. Mind you, we have 3 kids. She also has started texting a lot more. And she tells me I'm invading her privacy if I ask her who is she texting so much. I don't know what I will do if she is cheating, but I would like some suggestions about what I can do to prevent her from cheating if she hasn't already. So of course, I wrote this viewer right back immediately and gave them some suggestions to work with, and we've been corresponding. I wanted to address them right away. But I did save this for this situation for the second part of our conversation. And I'm going to use his situation to support the rest of you out there who could possibly be dealing with this same situation in tips in how to address this situation with your love. Now, for your own self-respect, the first thing I would do, my tip number 1, is to launch right in to confronting your partner about what's going on. Acknowledge the differences that you've noticed in your relationship. So for this viewer, it was the fact that she's texting a lot more, having private conversations that he doesn't want him to be a part of, and she's going out a lot more. Now, these are really easy indicators, aren't they? When you're having this conversation with your partner, you might have to have the conversation over a series of conversations before you actually get to the truth of the matter. Because what happens when people are unfaithful? They lie. They would prefer to take this action to the grave. And so if you are talking to them about the possibility of whether or not they're cheating, you're going to be confronted with a lot of denial initially. People don't want to hurt you. They don't want to get caught. Whatever the case might be, they are most likely are reluctant to tell the truth. Now those people out there who admit and confess to the truth right away, great. It gives you the opportunity to get to your second action step, which is determining what you're going to do moving forward in the relationship. When you're confronting your love about whether or not they're being unfaithful or not, I suggest that you don't ask questions that you already know the answers to. For example, are you cheating on me? You already know the answer to that. Ask a question that's more pointed, like, I notice that you're texting a lot, and when I ask you to look at the text message, you refuse, or you say that you need your privacy. Now, the reality, you're not crazy. This is true. The reality is, when you're in a committed long-term relationship, there is only a certain level of privacy. This wife has a wall of privacy up. That wall is there for a reason. So that's unacceptable. So should you have your partner constantly flipping through your phone without your permission, trying to see what conversations you're having with all the people in your life that you know? No, That's your insecure, jealous person. And that's an issue in and of itself that will most likely lead people to cheat too, if you live with that person. What the viewer is asking for is transparency. He wants to know that you're okay with him reading your text messages, because that will let him know that you're not being unfaithful, that you trust him, and that he should trust you. So that is a whole nother situation from someone who's constantly checking on you because they're insecure or jealous. It's completely different. So that is unacceptable for this viewer's wife to tell him that he can't read her emails because she needs her privacy. Why do you need your privacy is your next question. Why can't you let me see who you're talking to? Next issue that he can definitely address, a pointed question. When you go out and stay out late, it makes me feel and think, 1, you don't want to spend time with me and the kids. 2, you prefer to go out and be in environments that does nothing to feed and support our relationship. Why do you do that? So you ask questions that are relevant and pointed to the evidence that leads you to believe that your partner could possibly be cheating on you. Don't ask questions that you already know the answers to. I also want to invite you to already have worked out in your own mindset what you would do if the answer comes back affirmative that your partner is in fact cheating. Do you want to stay or do you want to leave? There's some information that you could garner from your partner that leads you to have no choice but to leave. And there might be some things that your partner could say that make you believe that you can work on the relationship and move past this infidelity or the idea that came into play inside of your relationship. So have that in your mind, because a lot of times when people find out that their partner has been unfaithful, they get stuck in the reality that they've been cheated on, and they don't move off of that point. Instead of looking at what led my partner to be unfaithful to me and what could I have done differently to prevent that. Now, I already know what you're thinking. It's not your fault that your partner decided to cheat, because there's a choice to be made in those instances, isn't there? That person can either stay in the relationship and be faithful to you. There's a choice that they can make, and they can make the choice to cheat. And those people who choose to cheat, that's their own individual choice. It has nothing to do with what's going on inside of your relationship, because you can choose to address what's going on in your relationship or not address what's going on in your relationship. And we'll talk about different things that can arise in a relationship that would lead a person to possibly cheat, and what we can do to address those before it actually happens. So I'm not suggesting that people do things to make their partners cheat. Don't even start sending emails and comments saying that that's what I think, because that's not what I think. I'm saying that there is equal responsibility on both parts inside of any relationship, and as a result to every outcome that comes out of a relationship, good or bad. And in our girlfriend conversations, we always talk about whether or not our girlfriend should tell us if they know that our partner is cheating or not. And some women want to know, absolutely. And some people don't want to know. And if you do tell that person, they're going to get mad at you because you told them and they didn't want to know, right? So, you have all of these different dynamics where infidelity is concerned and how people deal with it. But in the case where this woman knew that she was being cheated on but didn't want to address it with her husband, what that left her with is the persistence of the activity. Not because he thought he was getting away with it, because I think that he knew that she knew, because she acted out in ways that let him know that she had resentment towards him. But the reality for her was that she had to deal with the truth eventually, because if not, it just persists. It just continues because you're not dealing with the issue. and you don't get to deal with the issue inside of your relationship that's even leading to that behavior. So make a decision about what you want to do in the event that you find out that your partner is cheating. Or even if you find out that your partner has put themselves in situations or had opportunities to cheat, and that what was going on in the relationship was leading them in that direction, which again means that we have to address the deterioration of the relationship that it had gotten to that point. So my second action step is take responsibility. So this is what I was talking about earlier. Not necessarily this woman that I was dealing with, she was a good partner. She was a good mother. She did everything she could to make her husband happy, that she thought that she needed to do to make her husband happy. Obviously, he was still dissatisfied in some particular way, or he had in his mind that he didn't want to be faithful for whatever reason. So there can be a few things that actually drive the action. So you need to determine what that is too, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. So for all intents and purposes, when you look at this particular marriage, you would see the wife as being a victim to this infidelity. But in reality, we want to look at what happened inside of the relationship, and that is a balanced affair, no pun intended. I'm not surprised at all that this turned into a two-part conversation. Here's a sneak peek to what we're talking about next Friday on Love Relationships Real Talk. This is something that occurs very often, that comes up all the time when a person is confronted with cheating. They always fall on the excuse, it just happened. So I understand where that person's coming from. They didn't go out looking to have an affair. It grew and it budded into an attraction that resulted in them having an affair. They are trying to take responsibility off of themselves for having done this act by saying it's not something that I was looking for. Well, again, like we mentioned, this is something that you actually promote or you don't promote it. If you like this video, share, comment, and like. And don't stop sending the emails, especially for this conversation. It's spicy.